So we are Jade and Heather from the Gentry, and we are barbers. You'd been going down to London, hadn't you, and seeing barbershops down there and seeing how they work, because Carlisle as a city didn't really have anything at the time like the Gentry. I was 18, I'd been doing hairdressing for a little while. Mum approached me with the idea, and at first, obviously being 18, I didn't really think it was a good idea, because Heather being my mum, you kind of don't think your mum's right when you're 18. Went with the idea. It's just evolved and flourished from there, really.
There was an alleyway next door, and this was a tailor's shop. We had the tailor's shop first, then the alleyway, and that's where we set up the Gentry.
Yeah.
And then we've kind of knocked it all through and knocked through upstairs as well.
That main cutting area was essentially just a tunnel, a cobbled, dark, spider-infested tunnel. To think of that, how it was, to now, some people can't believe it, what we've done. When somebody chooses to use your business, it's special when it's your own business, because you do invest your whole heart and soul into it. We've got some fantastic talent in this city of cutting hair, hairdressers, barbers. So to be in this industry, it can be quite, competitive, not with each other, but, people do like to move and have a bit of a change, or, somebody might, think, oh, I've moved area, I'll go somewhere else. But everybody that walks through our door has chose to come to us either every week, every other, or whenever they need to come in. And that, to me and you and to the girls downstairs, is really special, because they could go anywhere. So to choose to come to us is lovely.
It's a natural thing. People like to move around sometimes, but on the whole, we've kept the majority of our customers, haven't we? Which is fantastic, really. We've still got people coming in that came in the week we opened, so it's we can't complain at
They're
all.
not sick of us yet.
No.
My name is Anne-Marie, and I've lived in Carlisle for nearly 3 years. I had always had it relaxed, partly for manageability reasons and partly because you're kind of conditioned to think that it's the professional way to have your hair. 3 years ago, I was going through a really tough time at work, and it started to fall out. From time to time my hair breaks on the side that I sleep on, but it was quite significant. So I spoke to my best friend. She recommended her hairdresser, and he made a wig, which I'd never worn before. I then wore that wig for about 2 years. I would go to him once a month. He would wash it, blow dry it, cane row it, and then put the wig on. It's quite distressing. One, because every time I went out, especially at the beginning, I thought like everyone's going to look at me and say, oh, she's wearing a wig. And then I also had an experience where the first time I wore it to work, where I was having all the stress, my manager, who was the cause of a lot of my stress, looked at me and said, oh, you've done something with your hair, Anne-Marie. And in my head was like, you caused this. So that was really, really distressing. Anyway, I got used to it, and my hair underneath, because it wasn't having any chemical treatments, got really healthy, got really long, but it also got really grey. Hey ho, it's life. When it had got to the right length and it was healthy, he said, right, we don't need this wig anymore. So off went the wig. When I came to Carlisle, one of my many worries was, what am I going to do with my hair? I used to make the journey down to London, so on top of having my hair done, and it wasn't cheap, I was having to pay the train fare down, and also because of my health, because I've got MS, it's actually quite tiring. I had a consultation here at Boyd's, and I decided to put some extensions in. They worked really well, they really looked after me, and so I'm now going to have my next keratin treatment. I was trying to get down to London because of the trains and everything. It was really awkward, and I just said to my hairdresser, Darren, I said, look, I just can't get there because it's going to cost me a fortune, and I don't even know if I can make it. So he said to ask someone here, and I asked, and because they know my hair now, they were willing to do it, and that's what I love about being here. When I first was looking for a hairdresser, I remember it was raining one day, and I walked in and I just took my hat off and I just said, "Do you do afro hair?" Not being quite sure what they might say, but actually what was said to me was, "Well, we don't have anyone that specialises it, but we'll give it a try." And for me, that was so, like, it took a weight off my shoulder. Heather, who does my hair mainly, she hadn't done much afro hair before, but she's willing to learn, and she sort of soaked it all up. So I, just gave her little pointers, like it gets quite dry, so you have to put quite a lot of the serum on it. I can't wash it every 5 minutes. So it's just the willingness to give it a go.
My name's Heather, I'm a senior stylist and I work in Boyd Hair and Beauty. Yeah, I can remember Anne-Marie coming to ask us. I just thought, let's just give it a go. I hadn't actually done it myself in the past, so it was a bit like, oh, am I going to be okay? But no, I did it, and yeah, still do it to this day, so yeah, enjoy it.
You have to feel comfortable with the person that you find, with the products that they use, and also the willingness to listen. So I came first with my products, but they've got really good products, so they match it to mine. And everyone, even down to the juniors who wash my hair, no one ever makes me feel like it's difficult or it's strange. A lot of black women have that experience where European hair is seen as the ideal, and somehow your afro hair, in whatever style it is seen as difficult or not desirable. So I think it's important that we aren't made to feel like we're somehow deficient.
I think when you're training, definitely needs training in afro hair. I don't understand why we don't, to be honest. I just think everyone should just give it a go and not say no, and there's no reason to say no, just give it a go, it's fine.
My name is Flavia, and I'm a barber, and I own Brazuca Barbers for the last 12 years. At Brazuca, we offer all services for gents, start from skin fade, beard trim, shaves, waxing, and facials. Brazuca means Brazilian and slang to say Brazilian. A few years ago, when I first moved to UK, I started work as a mobile hairdresser, and I had this Portuguese. He used to call me Brazuca because it's the meaning Brazuca is Brazilian. So he used to say, "Come on, Brazuca, you come for my haircut." So then I like to be called Brazuca. I love it, and then I decided to use the name Brazuca, and it was very successful. I work really hard, and even with every shop that I create, I actually had a touch. I don't know, like a wallpaper, the floor, paint, hand paint, and I think the challenge to make it happen, doesn't matter what, I just made it, and pretty much it was a solo gym, so it was quite hard. One very important person in my life, even though that I started Brazuca alone and I done pretty much more salon, but I did have a help as well from my best friend, and he helped me to put all my ideas into life. He is a graphic designer, so yes, I would say he was a very big important person in my life. He helped me put everything that he had in my mind alive.
It's the first time that I've ever been to a hairdresser's when I can go home and my hair's manageable and it'll do what it's told for more than a couple of days. It lasts well. It's well worth getting it cut here. It makes me feel a lot better about myself. I mean, I'm not overly endowed with good looks, so she does her best, and that helps, So it makes you feel a lot better.
It is everything for us. Seeing a happy face of clients, actually it's so funny when see clients say, "Oh, I went to one of the Brazucas," so they asked the yes in the end. It's great, it's an amazing feeling, and I don't really want more of that. I just want to see clients with happy face.
So I'm Joe, and I own Top Share Mobile Barbers, and I'm a barber. I learnt cutting hair in Afghanistan after my second tour of Afghan in the British Army. Just learnt cutting my friend's hair. I started experimenting with different fades and scissor work and all that sort of stuff. Me and my wife came up with the name Top Shear, just thought it'd be something a little bit different. It was going to be a stepping stone into getting a shop in town. In the end, people seemed to like the whole concept of being mobile and being out of the centre of town, so we just carried on.
I love the fact that it's local. That's what brought me up here originally. But actually, Joe's a great guy. We get on really well, and I think that's important. I've only ever had a few barbers in my life, and the odd times when somebody's cutting your hair that you don't know, you always feel a bit on edge. So you end up getting used to the same person over and over again.
The most rewarding thing about running Top Shear has definitely been meeting a lot of people from all walks of life and becoming friends with most people. I'm godfather to one of my customers' sons. I've been to numerous weddings of customers. Because it's such a personal service, it goes from a normal barber's to a friend you go to get your hair cut. That's what I think is special about Top Shear.
It's close to my house, and I like watching the computer and having sweets at the end. I like it when he talks, because it's funny. It feels nice because it's new, and I just like feeling it because it's like my hair goes very quick and it gets annoying when it's very long, and then when it's cut it just feels nice for a change.
I absolutely love my customers. Like, they are the thing that keeps me coming to work. A satisfied customer is a blessing to me. It gives you a little spring in your step and you feel happy. It's perfect. That's what I do it for.
I really like it because Joe's always really good and it's a good atmosphere. Come to Houghton on a Tuesday. That's where he does it.
I'm Claire, this is Laura, we're business partners. I'm a hairdresser. I took over the salon 3 years ago. After second lockdown we decided to go in together kind of thing, so yeah, we're equal now. Mostly we colour and cut here downstairs. Perming is coming back though, curls are coming back. And then upstairs we've got the beauty. Our main focus upstairs is skin and skin treatment.
Yeah.
Hairdressers are probably the biggest polluters on the high street, I'd say.
Yeah.
And so we do need to make an effort to try and get that down, really.
We've got hairdryers going all the time, we've got heat going, we're very conscious about saving in other ways.
Yeah.
So we recycle everything we can, don't we? Hair, foil,
Yeah.
PPE, to try and give back.
But it's even things like not putting your chemicals straight into the drain kind of thing.
Yeah, we have a waste collection company that deal with
Yeah.
that, and then we use Green Salon Collective for the recycling side,
Yeah.
don't we?
I'm Jackie and I've been in hairdressing 36 years. Loved it from the first day, but I didn't want to go on the first day because I didn't want to be a hairdresser. I once worked somewhere like this years ago when I'd be about 20 and just got married and lived in Lincoln, and even though you were qualified you still were expected to learn things. A lot of salons don't, everyone thinks they know it and you don't know it. We do a lot of that in here and I think it pays off, it's good, yeah. I'm not bothered about like money or anything really, but I just love people thinking people being
happier with
people pleasing,
Yeah.
that's my thing, yeah.
Yeah.
I like that's what I thrive on.
Yeah, and skincare wise, it's more of you can see them going through the journey with skincare.
Some people can be quite sad about the skincare.
Yeah,
They
so
like
that's
tears
nice.
and all
It
sorts.
can affect people really bad, so that's good.
We do something with cancer care hair, and that's quite nice when, well, it's not nice in places where when they lose their hair and everything, but it's nice when they come back and the hair's coming back and
Yeah.
it's in good condition
Yeah.
and they're happy
And they
with
feel
it.
better
Yeah,
about
they feel
themselves.
that's nice. Yeah.
My name is Olo Shangoreji. So I've been in Kalai for 2 years now. It's just a dream job, and I found myself doing it, and it keeps me going. I got passion for it. Keeps me, make me a living, so it keeps me going. I just love it naturally. It's something that I like doing. There are many people doing the same job in the industry, so everybody is doing their best, you know what I mean? You're not in the field, but if they give you a clipper to do an haircut, you would do something, right or wrong, you know what I mean? So we learn every day. When you knew something, this is what you've been doing, and suddenly maybe a new style is trending. Somebody will just tell you, I want it this way, I want it that way. Then they'll show you a picture, or it can be some artistic way that you need to draw something. Then you just look at it. You've not do it before, and you just do the picture because it's what you're into, it's what you knew doing. Then you just have to follow the step and make it a reality. When you have passion for something and you are into it, you're doing it, and you pour your mind, so the inspiration will come definitely. One way or the other, the inspiration will keep coming. Then you just, that's what keeps us going.
Hairdressing in Carlisle years ago was an amazing place to work as a hairdresser. You had in Carlisle, you had a big store which was Bullows, and you had a big salon that. Then we had Thatch, which was a big salon, what we called the Young Trendies. But it was a bit like the Thatch and Bullows staff. Big salons, 20 odd staff. You were either Thatch or a Bullows. It was one of those. Even though we were all really good friends, it was a bizarre thing. Carlisle's a different place to anywhere else in the country. I can remember we used to get buses over to big shows in Newcastle, and I would ring around all the salon owners. We would all go on a bus together, and we'd get over to a show, and the reps and the technicians over there couldn't believe that we all came, because if that happened in Newcastle, there'd be a fight on the bus. And I just never got that, because hairdressers are we're meant to be, and I think we are the friendliest, more welcoming people you can find, so I'd never got that. I did my training at Bullows, and when I was 19, a guy who came down from Edinburgh, who'd been trained in Edinburgh, worked in Edinburgh, he came down, he worked for me for 3 years as I was training, asked me to go into partnership with him. So I just went, yeah, all right. So we actually opened one of the first independent, trendy places in Carlisle, which we opened up on Fisher Street, and that was the mop shop. Having a salon, I'm not somebody who just goes to IKEA and makes it mundane and that's it. This is me, if you want to come to me for your hair done, you come to me. So that's why the decor is very unique. It's not the same as everybody else's. What it's telling people, hopefully, is that I'm imaginative, I'm forever changing, forever keeping up with things. Hair is an art form for me. It's about creation, it's about making people excited, it's about seeing something different ways, looking at it from different ways. So my windows are a bit like that. When I was training 35 years ago, I had to quickly do because I did an apprenticeship, but he didn't do any theory. So I actually, before I opened the salon at 19, I actually had to go and do level 1, 2 and 3 quickly at Carlisle College. And you got the whole syllabus, which covers, cutting, colouring, and perming. And then there was a whole section removed from that at the time, which I found really bizarre, but that was Afro-Caribbean hair. And I asked why that was removed. You got a little bit of literature on it, but you didn't have to do anything physical on it. And the top and bottom of it was you weren't able in Carlisle, in that area, to get any models to help with that texture of hair. It wasn't available, it wasn't possible, it wasn't viable.
I get it through there. And this one over. My name is Evelyn Charlotte Nakachwa, and I have lived in Carlisle since 2018. I can do these, I don't know what they're called. I just do them. I'll call them box braids, because most people say that. But I can also do twists. I can also do just plain gel. And I just put gel on, and then I tie some hair extensions on top. I can do dreadlocks, but the ones there's a dreadlocks that are made with a sponge. When I moved to Carlisle at that time, I had in twists that I had done from back home. So I took them out way too quickly because I thought, I'll find a place in Carlisle. Big mistake. There was nowhere I could have my hair done. And because of how home was, I didn't know how to take care of my own hair at all. I've been turned away many times from salons, even if I turn up with my own products and I tell them, I just want you to wash it and blow dry it. They can't do it, even if you try. Hair salons around here, they are quite scared of handling Afro hair. that even if you walk in, they don't even give you a chance to finish. As soon as they see you, they'll say, no, we don't do your hair. They haven't even tried to like, I can see what I can do with the products you have. They don't even ask any of these questions. They just plain out say, no, we can't do it. And yet they're advertising, we do all hairstyles. No, you don't. You don't do all hairstyles because you cannot do my hair. So most of the salons need this kind of exposure or some kind of training, so that at least they can say, if we can do all hairstyles, that includes hair.
Don't look in horror when a black woman walks through the door and says, can you do my hair? Or, how can you help me? Because even if you're not sure or you haven't got the experience, it's something you can learn. Learn what you can, don't look in horror. And also people, if you are welcoming, then people will, I said, can you do this or can you do that? Because, and so just as an example, so when Heather was doing so she was kind of using the straighteners and she was a bit nervous, so she didn't do close to the root, and I said, you can go a bit closer, it's okay. So people if you are willing to demonstrate that you'll give it a go, then people will be appreciative of that and will say, well, it's all right, you can do this or you can do that.
Hair is like, it speaks. It's when you look at someone and you see how their hair is, it will speak to you. It will tell you even more about an individual before they even tell you who they are. If you turn up to someone and their hair is so unkempt and all, that's already first impression. They've seen your hair and they know what it looks like. And if you're here and you don't have really much of any access to any place that can do your hair, it affects your self-esteem somehow. Because even if other people will not say anything, but you know that this is not how my hair is supposed to be, it's not really showing off the glory of my hair, and you've just really done it by yourself and you don't even know what you're doing yourself. So it's quite very important that we get people who know how to do African hair, at least to give us the nice weaves, and you can have your laid back edges and you look quite sharp and nice. It gives a certain boost and certain confidence when you're walking around feeling your hair. Yeah.